From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Ceremonies across the country honored those lost on 9/11 on Tuesday. However, Troy students used service in the community to honor victims of the attack 17 years ago. Sam Granville shows us how.
Troy University students spent their afternoon working to improve Troy Elementary School's outdoor classroom in an act of volunteerism honoring the victims of the September 11th attacks. The Troy students are moving garden beds from the locations around the elementary school campus to the centralized location of the outdoor classroom.
We just wanted to come out today and in an effort to honor and pay tribute to those who lost their lives on 9/11, and also just a great way to honor them. We couldn't think of anything better than to serve in our community, and so we have students out here today. Students were out here yesterday, and they'll be out here tomorrow and Thursday, and they are helping to create a garden for the Troy Elementary students to enjoy.
The week gives students a chance to become more involved in the community outside of the Troy campus.
Well, we think that service really gives students a wide perspective, and we feel that it's a way for them to give back to the community that they're in Pike County and here in the city of Troy.
So I believe it's very important to serve your community just because, it's people out here that's less fortunate. For the elementary school students, they are just bright, sunny faces, and they're new to the world. So to be able to plant, the garden for them, it'll make them realize like, hey, not only are we giving back to them, but they can somewhat give back to the community as well by taking care of the garden and learning how to plant and grow.
The finished project should give the students of Troy Elementary improved opportunities to make use of the outdoor classroom.
We've had garden beds here in the past, and we're hoping that by creating a collective space that this will be something that students will be able to enjoy more and really be able to apply the academic skills that they're learning in the classroom, be able to really enjoy them in an outside environment.
The students are actually expanding on an earlier project, as the outdoor classroom was the Service Week project in the spring semester. Sam Granville, Troy TrojanVision News.
Cyberspace is a relevant and ever-present aspect of everyday lives, and with people always being connected, it comes with risks. And that was the subject for discussion at this week's Alabama World's Affairs Council meeting. Seth Hawk has more from our Montgomery News Bureau.
Tuesday night, the Alabama World Affairs Council gathered on the Troy University Montgomery campus to hear from a special guest speaker about an important aspect of everyday life for the majority of developed countries.
We live in a world that's globally interconnected, and part of that interconnectedness has to do with cyberspace, but it's very vulnerable and unstable. I mean, we've seen in our elections and other things how this can play out. So we're very fortunate to have with us tonight Dr. Pano Yannakogeorgis, who is going to talk to us about this.
During Dr. Yannakogeorgis' presentation, he discussed how cyberspace is being more integrated into politics, as well as the risks involved with integration of various technologies, with a recent example being the Russian government hacking the 2016 presidential election.
There's nothing we can really do without sacrificing our democratic values, and I think it's a very dangerous, slippery slope to start wading towards suppression of speech just because we think that the Russians may have influenced our elections through cyber means.
With cyberspace and the internet being a relatively new idea in our current climate, Yannakogeorgis says that cyberspace has infiltrated our everyday lives.
You also have basically cars, which aren't really automobiles, and more like computers on wheels that help you get from point A to point B. So there's a lot of aspects of cyber that goes unseen on a day-to-day basis.
The Alabama World Affairs Council will have their next meeting on October 16th on Troy University's Montgomery campus in Whitley Hall.
Last Friday, the Knoll Gallery in the International Arts Center at Troy got a visit from the man for whom the gallery is named. Knoll was on campus to talk about an exhibit on display that celebrates artists from Alabama. Adoria Hughes has that story.
The Troy University International Arts Center hosted Alabama Inside Out, featuring a portrait series by artist Fred Knoll Hollis.
The reception and art talk that we had tonight was for our exhibition Alabama Art Inside Out, and I am very pleased with how it went. We had a great turnout, and we were able to talk to artists and hear a little from them about the projects and the portrait series, and I'm very happy happy with how it turned out.
Noel says his passion for art began as a child, and he is very honored for his work to be displayed on the campus of Troy University.
When it started 70 years ago, Mother said I stabbed my way out of the womb with a pencil, and I've been drawing ever since. So this is a collection of some of my finer pieces throughout the last 50 years that I thought they needed a good home.
Noel explains how each piece of artwork displayed has a unique background.
This is one of my favorites here called AIDS Babies. When the CIA and the FBI started doing false publicity, fake news about AIDS, saying only homosexuals and heroin addicts through the needle could propagate AIDS, I said that's not possible, especially when children are born with the virus.
Noel explains how he hopes that art not only continues to inspire students here at Troy University, but also the Troy community. Adoria Hughes, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A barbecue lunch might sound pretty tasty to some. However, if you add a side of career advice, that can be a recipe for success, especially for students interested in what banking might offer as a career option. Stuart Bradley shows us how.
The Sorrell College of Business hosted Barbecue with the Bankers on Thursday afternoon in Bibb Graves. Students of any major were invited to attend to learn about the world of banking, as well as network with some of the bankers in a more casual environment.
It was an event set up for students to come in and network with some of our bankers. ABA set it up. Just an opportunity to come in and get to know each other and tell them about the world of banking and some opportunities out there for the business students at Troy University.
I think it is a great opportunity to network with people in your local business community, and you can't pass up free barbecue.
The first part of the event featured a selection of bankers talking about their jobs and telling stories from their experiences, while also giving students some helpful career advice. And for the second half, everyone got to enjoy some barbecue. While enjoying the barbecue, students got their opportunity to personally talk and network with many of the bankers in attendance. The more casual setting appeared to be helpful.
This kind of gave a little bit of a more relaxed atmosphere so that we could just come in and hang out and get to know each other, and more of an open dialogue than a formal event.
Absolutely, I think it makes for a more comfortable environment where you don't feel intimidated to go and talk to these big bankers.
Stuart Bradley, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll see how a dancing Lady Liberty is helping area school children learn about civics. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
It's the Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University.
For us, it's really about getting people involved, getting people to come out and support the charities that the Chancellor's Tournament supports, and really just having a good time.
Join us for the Talk of Troy, Fridays at 8:45 a.m. and 3:44 p.m., and Sundays at 4:35 p.m. on Troy Public Radio.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
On Tuesday, students at Troy Elementary School got the chance to learn about U.S. history in the kickoff for a 10-week program focusing on the heroes that impact the United States. Lauren Harkson has more.
We are all familiar with the Statue of Liberty, but have you ever seen her dance? Well, that dream came true for many students at Troy Elementary School on Tuesday. Along with learning all about civics and the United States government, these second and third graders learned even more about character.
It teaches the children to be good citizens, which is so important these days.
Liberty Learning is an annual program that helps students understand the world around them and how they can impact the lives of others.
They're going to be really stressing citizenship and giving back to their community and appreciation for what others do for them and where they live in this great country we live in.
One of the main events, of course, had to be the singing, dancing Lady Liberty.
Well, we have an actress that's dressed up as the Statue of Liberty, so she kicks off our program and just kind of sets the stage for what they'll be studying about.
But more important than songs and music, the children are in this program to learn the importance of the heroes around them.
What we want the children to understand is that there are people walking around them every single day that are doing the right thing and giving back to their community, not for notoriety, but because it's the right thing to do. And once a child has ownership of that and has a mentor to look at, then we think that our program inspires and empowers them.
This was the kickoff for the 10-week Liberty Learning Program, which will continue over the next few months.
It's not even a full month into classes, but there are probably some students on campus that are already starting to feel a little stressed out. Well, Troy Student and Alumni Association brought a cute and cuddly way for students to relax a little and maybe find a new friend in the process. Nick Brooks shows us how.
The Student Alumni Association and Troy Animal Rescue Project teamed up Monday to bring puppies on the quad. Michael Ingram is the Student Alumni Association president and says the association and TARP host the event to get recognition for both programs.
This event is Puppies on the Quad. It's put on by Troy Student Alumni Association. We partner with TARP, which is Troy Animal Rescue Project. So they bring puppies out here to the quad. It's a good way for us to get exposure and to gain members in the Alumni Association and also to get puppies adopted.
Ingram likes to keep the event going due to the simplicity of it.
It's an event we've had in the past, in past years that we've done. It's usually pretty successful. It's usually a self-marketing event. People see puppies on the quad and they just flock to the dogs.
Ingram hopes to bring the event back soon.
You can expect us to probably do it again this semester at some point though. So follow us on social media to stay tuned. Our Instagram is Troy Student Alumni. No spaces, no underscores. Just follow us on Instagram and stay tuned for the next events.
Sophomore Abigail Wiggins came out to support TARP, but now has adoption in mind.
Well, I was on my way to class and I saw some super cute puppies, and I know TARP is an awesome program, so I wanted to come play with the dogs and give them some support. There's a really cute one over there. Her name is Olivia, and she is the chillest dog I've ever met, and I would totally adopt her in a heartbeat. She's so cute.
The event was cut short due to rain, but the Student Alumni Association has an interest meeting Wednesday night at 5 p.m. in Claudia Crosby Theater. Nick Brooks, Troy, TrojanVision News.
There are plenty of interesting places to visit here in Alabama, but getting to all of them can be time-consuming. However, there's an attraction opening in Troy that'll allow people to take a trip around the state. Well, as long as they don't get lost along the way. Sarah Weeks explains.
Butter and Egg Adventures, commonly known as Camp Butter and Egg, is offering the Troy community an amazing way to explore the state of Alabama, all without leaving the city of Troy. The camp is days away from opening its newest attraction, the Alabama Maze. The maze itself is 2 acres large, is in the shape of Alabama, and includes facts, photos, and small-scale homages to Alabama cities.
It's got 13 cities through it, and what the goal here is, it's all based on Alabama history and trivia. You'll answer questions. There'll be a question at every city that will lead you to the next city.
The maze is meant to be enjoyed by all ages, and thanks to the University Activities Council, Troy University students can get in on the action too, and for a lesser price.
We're going to do the same thing they're doing for movie nights. You're going to have students going to just ride out here, show us their ID card, pay $1, and then can do the maze.
The maze is not only a new addition to Camp Butter and Egg, it is also expected to become a tourist attraction for the city of Troy.
Well, we think the maze is going to bring in people that are in the surrounding 100-mile radius. It's something unique. Like I said, it's in the shape of Alabama. It's not that expensive to come do. So we don't know how many people are going to come, but hopefully people will come to Troy and experience the good things about Troy, Alabama.
Because the maze is Sudan grass, it will die after the first frost of the season, meaning the maze will only be open for the next 6 weekends. Sarah Weeks, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how Troy University students got to go around the world in 80 seconds. That's coming up right after this, so stay tuned.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
We changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
You've probably heard of the book Around the World in 80 Days, but have you heard of Around the World in 80 Seconds? Well, that was the theme of this week's ISCO event, where students had the opportunity to learn about different cultures. Seth Carpenter has the details.
Thursday night, ISCO and RHA partnered together to host Around the World in 80 Seconds, where students split into two circles, walked in opposite directions, and then stopped and asked the person across from them whatever question was on the screen. This was their version of speed dating, just with culture.
The international students and the American students, we're kind of intermingling, getting to know each other. There's speed dating going on, which is not really dating. So you're partnered up with somebody and you basically just ask them questions about their culture, language, traditions, anything like that, and you get to know each other.
The event was a night of first for ISCO and RHA, as it was the first time that they had partnered together, and it was the first time Around the World in 80 Seconds had taken place. And Cheyenne Davis, RHA president and the person who came up with the event, says she got the inspiration for the event from her summer job.
So I worked as a summer camp counselor for the past 2 summers, and we play crazy games like this all the time. This was comes directly from one of the games that we play where they ask questions and we walk in circles, and so from camp counselor.
Cheyenne also said why RHA partnered with ISCO for the event.
RHA reached out to ISCO because as the Residents Hall Association, we just think it's very important to, kind of bridge that gap between domestic and international students. And I have a lot of good friends on the ISCO board, and I reached out to them to try to bridge that gap, and I proposed that we do, kind of an interactive, like, camp-type game.
And the night provided students a unique opportunity to meet new people.
My favorite part was getting to meet new people and getting to learn things about different people that I haven't met before.
My favorite part of today was getting to know everybody, just meet random people, asking random questions, getting the most random answers. It was kind of interesting.
And at a little over 80 seconds, I'm Seth Carpenter with Troy Trojan Vision News.
Roller skating is an activity that's enjoyed by many, but there are no rinks in Troy. However, the University Activities Council brought a roller skating rink to campus for any students looking for some fun. Cody Giles has the story.
Yesterday, the University Activities Council held a skate night in the Elm Street Gym, where a plethora of students decided going in circles was the way to go.
We are having skate night here at Elm Street Gym, where students can come and get roller skates and skate around the gym for free.
The UAC hosts events every week in an attempt to allow students the chance to experience activities they normally wouldn't be able to.
UAC hosts an event every Wednesday, and we thought this would be a fun thing to do. I personally love roller skating. It was one of my favorite childhood events, so I'd love to bring it to campus since we don't have a roller skating rink.
While some people took this time to show off their skills, others were just trying to find a footing on this unusual mode of transportation. That being said, there were plenty of smiles to go around.
I called my friend and he was like, dude, we're going skating tonight with Troy, and I was like, all right, I'm down. So I was pretty excited because I love skating.
With the UAC hosting events every week, don't feel bad if you didn't get the chance to attend.
Next week we have $2 movie night on Wednesday. It's our most popular event. And after that, the next week we have laser tag, which is going to be on the quad, weather permitting. If not, we're going to have it here at the rec gym.
If you would like to join the University Activities Council, they have meetings at 5 o'clock on Mondays in the Trojan Center ballrooms. Cody Giles, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
The City of Troy holds multiple events to bring Troy residents and students to the downtown area. And last Thursday, the City of Troy hosted an event where anyone could win some prizes. Seth Hawk has the details.
Thursday evening, the City of Troy held a bingo night on Troy's downtown square. The evening featured fellowship and prizes from shops in Troy's downtown area, and this event was planned off of past success.
We started bingo nights earlier this summer, and they were such a hit, we decided to continue them throughout the fall, and we have one next week, and they continue pretty much every other Thursday.
A common complaint within the Troy student body is that there's nothing to do in Troy, but according to Kaylor, the downtown area is a great place for students to come.
The downtown area has a lot to offer students. We have shopping, we have restaurants, we have fun events like tonight that are free, completely free for the community. And we just want the students to be able to take advantage of that, give them something to do in Troy. There's lots to do in Troy, so we want them to feel that and enjoy downtown area.
And for those individuals that missed bingo night, there are plenty of events planned for the future.
We have a few more band parties, bingo nights. We actually have a car show planned for October. Lots of events for the Christmas time, shopping events. So there's a little bit of everything. For anyone that is interested, just follow Downtown Troy, Alabama on Facebook or Instagram, and you can find out when our events are.
As you can see behind me, the atmosphere here is pretty quiet, but come Friday night, the Park Band will be live here on the square to kick off the downtown band party. Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And Troy students and residents kicked off an action-packed football weekend with some fun on the square. Music filled the air as the Park Band performed a free concert courtesy of the city of Troy. Stuart Bradley has the details.
Local Troy band known as the Park Band performed a concert hosted by the city of Troy on the square in downtown Troy on Friday night. The event served as a way for Troy locals to come and enjoy a free concert while also promoting some of the local businesses.
We come down here to support all of our local businesses. We have a local business, so we hope everybody supports us too.
We heard the Park Band was performing, and we heard, there's some great food deals going on the square, and we just wanted to come check it out and see what everybody was doing, have a good time.
The band performed covers of many famous songs spanning multiple genres. They were able to draw in a number of fans, families, and loyal followers to come and enjoy some familiar tunes.
This is just a good event for friends and family to get together and come down.
Just the local atmosphere, being downtown, enjoying the atmosphere of downtown Troy live, seeing all the local friends, family, everything like that. It's wonderful.
For those who may have missed the concert, the city of Troy has many other events and activities planned for the fall. Stuart Bradley, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll learn about this year's IT Summit at Troy University. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you go to the schoolyard? Calm down, please. Where did you look? We can make a plan somehow. If I just.
He's a smart boy, and he's gonna be okay.
Okay, try to call him again.
There's no reception. Everything is down.
Try.
I can't.
Try already.
Nothing's working.
Well, just
everything's
try.
down.
Do you think he's on his way? Please. Is he okay?
Laura.
Please tell me he's okay.
I need you to calm down.
Why? That's my baby. This is so bad. He's out there by himself.
Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
Troy University faculty and staff have a chance to expand their knowledge of computer technology coming up. We'll learn more about the IT Summit in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Diana Ford, IT specialist here at Troy University, here to talk about an IT Summit taking place here at Troy University. Thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
And now we're talking about the IT Summit. Tell us a little bit about, obviously, IT stands for information technology,
It does.
all that computer stuff that sometimes a lot of people know, sometimes it's a little bit mind-boggling for others, but a summit here on campus. Tell us a little about it.
Well, this is an event where staff and faculty can get together, they can collaborate with each other, meet each other, which I think doesn't happen all the time. There will be some informative sessions, some training sessions. Vendors of ours will be here displaying some of their technology and what they provide to the university, as well as, again, just walking through the sessions, learning about a few things maybe you didn't know, getting some quick training on some software, good things like that.
And you talk about these sessions as part of the summit. Tell me a little bit about like some of the sessions, some things that people may learn about in throughout some of these sessions throughout the summit.
Okay. We've got some training on Excel and Word. We've also got some informative sessions on security, best practices in IT, how to keep yourself secure in the world that we're in today. There will be some training sessions on the Vizix, which is the digital displays on campus.
Okay.
Just all kinds of sessions. The schedule is out there on the website. You can peruse the schedule and see what's
interesting to you and go from there. And you mentioned there security, and that's probably, I would think, is one of the most paramount issues in IT, and especially on a campus where there's lots of people using lots of computers, accessing a lot of information. So how important is it to get that security information into the minds of the people who are using the network around here?
It is very important to us. It's one of our top priorities, and security should be important to everybody. There are 3 to 4 sessions, I believe, at the summit that are just going to discuss security and different ways to, again, remain secure. And then we're also offering some options for some of the staff and faculty to do their SAN security training that is mandatory by the end of the month. So there'll be 2 sessions for them to attend, and they'll get credit for the training as though they had done it individually. But I think the security sessions are going to be quite interesting and very important.
And the security sessions, the training you mentioned there is something that happens normally online. It's an online interface, but the opportunity to do it in person there. But even though that training has happened online, there's probably a little bit of additional information they can learn by sitting in a room and hearing it face to face.
Right, and seeing what questions come up and what conversations arise from those questions, I think would also be helpful.
And as the moderator and as an IT professional, when you do these and people ask some of these questions, is sometimes you get some new questions or some new information for you, thinking, I never thought about that being an issue, and kind of maybe change the methodology and your intentions there?
You do. With all of the training that I've done with the staff and faculty so far, there have been some times where a question I receive in a class makes me go back to my office and rewrite that section of the presentation, something I just didn't think of.
Yeah. Oh, and you mentioned there earlier Word as a training session, and one would think that in today's computer literate world that Word wouldn't necessarily be something that someone would need training on. But obviously that's not the case.
Right, and this class is going to be tips and tricks, that's the title of it. So what we've done is we've taken our basic class and our intermediate class and kind of merged it together. So you may know some of the information, but hopefully you'll leave learning 1 or 2 new things. And so
the course here, and we talked about the summit, and it's over the course of 3 days, is that correct? So if someone were to go to this, is it all required? Like, how's the involvement with the summit? Do you have to go to everything? Can you pick and choose? So how does that work?
Not at all. You just register for the summit as a whole. You can again browse the schedule, see what piques your interest. We don't expect everyone to try to attend every session, so go to what interests you, what you think you may need to learn, what you may need to brush up on, but really just what you want to go and see.
And obviously we are talking about there's some terrestrial training taking place here in Troy, but there are some opportunities for individuals to do it online, to be a part of this online,
Correct.
Right? So,
again, when you look at the website, some of the sessions are notated with a small camera icon, and that indicates that that will be available via WebEx once that session starts.
And so they'll have a chance to be able to take advantage of that once online if they cannot make it to Troy. So if anyone is interested in taking part in this, what do they need to do to register for it?
Well, we need everyone to register at itsummit.troy.edu. If you do want to just attend the WebEx sessions, that's fine. If you can't travel to Troy, that's fine, but you still do need to register as an online participant versus an on-site participant. So you just make sure you get registered.
And the summit itself will take place in Troy, and where will that take place here in Troy? So
most of the sessions take place at the new University Park IT Annex, and then some of the training sessions, which do require a separate registration, the Excel, the Word, things like that, will take place in the University Park IT Lab.
All right, so all kind of centrally located. So if you come, you don't have to worry about navigating around the campus to find different sites. So, well, it sounds like a good opportunity for faculty and staff to bone up a little bit on some of their IT skills, whether it be something as complicated as security or something as relatively simple as Word and some tips and tricks. But I want to thank you for joining us here and tell us a little bit about that today. So thank you. And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened this week. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune in to Troy Trojan Vision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday. Or you can find us anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, Feel free to like our Troy Trojan Vision News fan page on Facebook to see online content like you saw today from Troy Trojan Vision News. Maybe join us again next week for another edition of Troy Trojan Vision Weekly. We hope you have a good week.